Welcome to Around the Peninsula. I'm Katusa Private Min Young Choi. Strong alliances are formed by sweat, hard work, and when working with foreign partners, the overcoming of cultural barriers. Senior Airman Corey Schuler takes us to a flight line where a simple exercise shows a lot more than what's on the surface.
Osan Airmen teamed up with Republic of Korea troops to test out a system that helps damaged planes land safely. Technical Sergeant Paul Dolores explains how the Mobile Arresting System, or MOS, works.
Basically the same principle as how the Navies catch their planes on aircraft carrier, but it's a land-based system itself. So if the plane can't stop, they have a little hook on the bottom, and it just snags the cable and slows the aircraft down safely.
The purpose of these screws and bolts is to route these machines to the Suwon Air Base flight line. But they're doing much more than that. The intent of this joint exercise is to test the MOS system, something Sergeant Dolores and his Korean partners are learning to do despite the language barrier.
English didn't really matter because we both had the same goal to get the job done, and that's pretty much spoke for itself.
So while the MOS system is successfully deployed, the service members that worked so hard to put it together share a bond going back decades.
The biggest benefit between the Rocky Escalation is on trust. With that alone, you could get the job done, no matter what rules or tasks have been given upon you.
Senior Airman Corey Schuler, Suwon Air Base, Korea.
This exercise takes place every year with a new crew every time. Most gym workouts can become boring or routine. At Osan Air Base, a special guest made sure one particular workout was anything but. Specialist Aaron Loy explains.
Tony Horton, creator of P90X, a popular fitness program, puts service members through a once-in-a-lifetime workout session at the Osan Air Base Fitness Center. At first, you might think his visit is strictly for money or publicity, but you would be mistaken.
You know, people say, well, why do you travel all over the globe? It's not a paid gig. You know what I mean? I do this for free, but I didn't get a chance to serve. My father was a tank commander in the Army. Growing up, I was an Army brat. And it just feels like there's some information out there that needs to be heard. Not just moving weights and doing cardio, but focusing on balance and explosive power and functional fitness.
All of which are on full display by a 55-year-old Horton.
And I get to be able to do donkey kicks and balance push-ups and surfer spins and these movements that, that young kids do. And when they see me doing it, they realize, whoa, that old man, he can actually move,
Horton also takes time to coach service members on the importance of a healthy diet and lifestyle.
It's not only about the workouts, it's also about sharing the information that I've learned over the course of 30 years. And I know the struggle with PT, I know the struggle with fitness, I know the struggle with health. And I've got answers based on my experience that I know that'll help these men and women.
No appearance would be complete without pictures and autographs, something Tony Horton is happy to do, much to the pleasure of Lieutenant Holderly.
It feels like I joined the right job. The experiences that we get here is amazing, and the fact that these people will come out and do this kind of stuff for us is wonderful, especially being so far away from home.
Specialist Aaron Loy, Osan Air Base, Korea.
Tony Horton conducted 2 workouts for a total of more than 500 service members at Osan Air Base. The Air Force has changed the way it evaluates and inspects wings across the world. Tech Sergeant Alex Griffin takes us to Osan Air Base to see how the Air Force inspection program is making things better for the Air Force.
In the past, wings around the Air Force spent countless hours and time preparing for different readiness and compliance inspections. Now the Air Force inspection program, instead of looking at one moment in time, units are now being evaluated on year-long mission accomplishment. The Air Force can continuously evaluate performance. Inspectors can compile more of a photo album of the mission versus just a snapshot in time.
And this photo album is going to create a more accurate picture of your wing's readiness. Because if we came out and the wing did really excellent in this one inspection, but over time they really weren't meeting the standard, we wouldn't necessarily be able to tell that wing commander where they stood.
When a MAGCOM showed up to evaluate, the wing often focused only on the inspection.
The wing was so focused on preparing for our arrival and preparing for how they were going to do in the exercise, what they actually did was neglect their real mission. And that is the whole idea behind the Air Force inspection system, is that you're not prepping for an inspection.
Now the local wing inspector generals and wing commanders have more ownership of how well the base is prepared. But more important, Wings no longer have to focus on a week-long inspection. They can now focus and prepare to execute their mission. Reporting from Kunsan Air Base, Republic of Korea, I'm Tech Sergeant Alex Griffin.
The Pacific Air Force inspection team was at Kunsan for Exercise Beverly Bulldog, which is a peninsula-wide exercise. Acting Secretary of the Air Force stopped in Korea to talk about the importance of the region and how bases in Korea have something in common with bases around the world.
It's Thanksgiving week, and the Secretary of the Air Force, or ASECAF, Eric Fanning, is visiting airmen stationed on the Korean Peninsula.
This is one of the most important geographic regions to the United States, and this is one of the longest military alliances anywhere in the world between the United States and the Republic of Korea. And it's helped defend against further aggression on the Korean Peninsula from North Korea.
The acting SECAF took time to talk with airmen about being away from home during the holidays.
We're here traveling Thanksgiving week to thank everyone who's contributing to the peace and stability of this region, particularly to those airmen who are forward deployed without their families. And while our visit is much too brief, it doesn't take much time at all to see how experienced, committed, and dedicated American airmen are.
Visiting 40 Air Force bases in the last 6 months, Mr. Fanning has seen all the technology and equipment available to the warfighter.
But nothing is as impressive as the airmen of the United States Air Force. These are smart, dedicated people that we are lucky to have recruited and certainly lucky to retain.
Air Force Staff Sergeant Justin Wayne, Osan Air Base, Korea.
This was Mr. Fanning's first trip to the Republic of Korea as the Secretary of the Air Force. Holiday season is a time to think about the ones you love, but what about the ones that don't have anyone or anything? Army Sergeant Jacob Connor joins a group that is trying to do their part to give what they can to the less fortunate.
Washing dishes is a chore a lot of people try to avoid. But while washing dishes, this soldier is all smiles. Why, you might ask? Well, he spends a few hours a week volunteering at a soup kitchen while serving in Korea.
I come and work in the soup kitchen because I think it's important volunteering wherever you live, internationally, in your own hometown. And more people in the Army should do that just so they can give back to their community.
Many soldiers around Korea use their free time to help the less fortunate. But many of these organizations are always looking for an extra hand.
It's a great way to meet people while giving back to your community. It's a great way to branch out, meet new people, do new things, see new places, stuff like that. And it's a great experience overall.
The soup kitchen goes on every Friday and is always looking for more volunteers. Army Sergeant Jacob Connor, Seoul, Korea.
The website to find out more about how you can lend a helping hand is koreaforexpats.com. General Scaparati went over command priorities during a press conference at Yongsan. Army Sergeant Jaron Don is on scene for more.
People gather at a press conference in Yongsan. General Scaparati addressed a wide range of topics, including the role of ROK U.S. military readiness.
The Counter Missile Defense Committee looks specifically at how we best counter the developing North Korean missile threat that we face, and then how as an alliance together we build our capabilities to provide the protection that we need here for Korea.
The audience consistently took notes and typed away as General Scaparati answered questions about overarching themes such as sustaining and strengthening the alliance, as well as force and family readiness before concluding the conference.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Army Sergeant Jared Don, Yongsan, Korea.
This was General Scaparati's first press conference since taking command of the USFK. That was Around the Peninsula for Thursday, December 5th. From all of us at AFN, enjoy your evening.
It's the deadliest of all winter driving hazards, accounting for more than half of the season's fatalities. Icy road conditions and black ice can appear when least expected, potentially causing us to lose control of our vehicles. Remember, all skids are a result of too much speed, so please slow down when it comes to winter driving.